Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to yet another pistol grip video I'll be doing. This will hopefully be the last one, at least on this AK-74 here. So this time, as you can tell by the title, AK-12 pistol grip. This is an actual AK-12 pistol grip from Russia. You can also find some made by, and I don't think they're made anymore, but there are some by, I think Ronin Grips it's called, out of the US. It's just a clone of it that's all one piece. So on an actual AK-12 pistol grip like this one, you do have a storage compartment, or you would. The one I bought, this is from RussianSurplus.net. They have a pretty good price on them. I don't know if they'll still be available by the time this video comes out, but if you can get them, it's pretty good. I'll go into reasons why later, but yeah, this doesn't come with a pistol, or this pistol grip doesn't come with a storage compartment if you order it through them. I just taped over the hole where it would normally kind of stick out there. Just aesthetics, it really doesn't matter. This doesn't affect function whatsoever. So, the previous pistol grip I had on here was the X-Tech, and it was actually, I don't know, I was kind of like, oh, it's alright when I did the video on it, but it had a lot of problems. It was way too narrow, way too thin, and it just didn't fit my hands very well. I do have quite larger hands, but I always like to kind of keep it open, regardless of what it is, whether it's a pistol grip or whatever, because everyone has different sized body, different sized hands, and it might work well for you. So I quite like, on that note, I quite like this AK-12 pistol grip. It fits me pretty well, but not as well as the Custom Arms pistol grip, which is another one I will probably be bringing up a lot in this review. It's the one I had on here prior to the X-Tech, which I've now moved to my Wasser, and it's a really good pistol grip. The only complaint I have about that one is the angle of it. So here's the Custom Arms, I believe it's the AGR-74 pistol grip, and you can see just by holding them side by side like this, that this does have more of a steep angle to it. I do like a bit more straight or vertical type of pistol grips, which this AK-12 grip is. It has a bit of a swell in the back. They both have it. The Custom Arms one is probably a little bit lower, but one thing I did notice about this AK-12 pistol grip that isn't an issue on this one is you can see when I grip it, the finger grooves line up quite nicely on this, and this is at least for my hands, as I've already mentioned, like with the X-Tech, you know, your results will probably be different unless you have the exact same size of hands as me. But when I'm holding this, my hand, and I'll probably overlay some footage of me holding this normally because it's a little hard to tell when I'm just gripping it on a table here, but it doesn't really want to line up. My pinky and my middle finger kind of want to rest right on this little groove right here. And this does have ever so slight of finger grooves. You can see they're not as pronounced as when compared to the Custom Arms one, but if I lift this up so you can kind of see it without the shadow so much, you can see there's some groove there, but not a whole lot. And yeah, I don't think they line up particularly well, but they work, and it stays in your hand. And one more thing about this is the texture of it is, I don't know, I feel like this is a kind of interesting point. And again, comparing it to the Custom Arms one, the Custom Arms one has really good gripping texture on the finger grooves, but this one is quite smooth overall. So one other point, by the way, is normally these pistol grip videos I just normally do an installation, and it's just like a first impression sort of thing, but this is different. I've had this on for I think a bit over a month at this point by the time that you all see this video. So I've been using it a lot, have several hundred rounds shot through it while using this, and so I've definitely noticed it's very smooth. A good comparison for how smooth it is it's the exact same type of polymer that's used on the AK-12 mags. If that's not a good analog, then just think of it like this. Here's a bunch of mags I have. So I would say it's most similar to like just a true black sort of mag, if you want that for a comparison. It's not as smooth in texture as, say, a Bakelite or a Plum type of mag, but doesn't have a huge amount of grip to it either, for that matter. It's just a pretty standard sort of polymer there. So one last thing I wanted to talk about was the installation. this was a little bit more difficult. So to go a little bit into how the AK-12, the actual AK-12s, they have a, I believe they have a different pistol grip T-nut that goes in here. So if you use your normal T-nut, it's not going to fit. However, I didn't get the pistol grip T-nut. Russian Surplus, the place I mentioned earlier that I bought this from, they don't have any of those actual AK-12 T-nuts. So yeah, I don't have anything to compare it to. As I said, I'm guessing they are different. From the pictures I've seen, it looks like they're slightly different. But inside here, so normally you have a pretty big just open space in a pistol grip where the T-nut comes down, and then you just put the screw in from the bottom. And the difference is on this AK-12 pistol grip is the T-nut will actually collide on the inside here because it goes up way higher. So the one way I found to fix this, and I will overlay some footage of it now, is actually turning the T-nut inside here 90 degrees. Now, what I wanted to mention about that is that's not ideal, but I have shot hundreds of rounds through here, and it hasn't had any issues with loosening up or hitting anything like on the bolt carrier group. One note on that, however, I would want to kind of mention, I was messing around with it also on the washer, so let me get this opened here. So it's a lot easier to rotate the T-nut. Actually, you can't see very well. Let me get this recoil spring out of the way. There we go. If you have a side folder, the rear trunnion, it's pretty out of the way. It's pretty easy to rotate the T-nut as you need to. But I noticed when I was trying to do this on my washer that you don't really have as much room because the standard just fixed stock trunnion goes a lot further in, and it's a little bit harder to work around. You could probably still do it, but it's I don't know, it gets a little cramped, but honestly it probably would be fine as well. Also notice that the pistol grip kind of wraps around the reinforcement plate. Now, I didn't actually test if you need the reinforcement plate. I mean, the AK-12 has the reinforcement plate there where the pistol grip goes, but I didn't test it on the washer, so I don't know if you actually need it to get a good fit on your rifle. But what I wanted to mention about this also is that if you have one of those sling adapter plates that goes underneath the pistol grip, I know a fair amount of people have them. That's a pretty good spot to have them. It's pretty good, but this, of course, would not work with it because it will just block that completely. So that is something to keep in mind, that the design of the AK-12 pistol grip here will prohibit the use of all of those sling adapters. So to summarize everything, I would say it's kind of a weird installation unless you can get the actual T-nut that comes with it. It's pretty comfortable, but the finger grooves don't match up perfectly, at least for me. I really like the grip angle. This is slightly less of a grip angle, maybe more close to just a normal sort of grip angle on the AKs, than compared to the custom arms one, which is quite a bit further back. But I like it. It's definitely a mixed bag. I feel like every pistol grip is a mixed bag. I've been looking, as you can probably tell from the amount of pistol grip videos I've done, I've been looking for like the perfect pistol grip that's just crazy comfortable. And I don't know, I would say both this and the custom arms one are both really good. Maybe the custom arms one is slightly better, even though it has a bit more of a grip angle, just because the finger grooves they perfectly line up, at least for me. And actually, they do have a version that doesn't have the finger grooves either, if that's more your style. And also, that one just has a lot more texture going on, more than just in the finger grooves too. Just all around, it's pretty good. So, if you're looking for a replacement pistol grip, I think this one's pretty good. And another thing is that this pistol grip seems pretty good, and it works well for me for what it was worth. I didn't pay that much for it through Russian Surplus. It's pretty much the same price as any other pistol grip. In fact, I think the price I paid was slightly less than that custom arms one. So that's good, but I've noticed that it's pretty hard to find the full pistol grip with the storage compartment in it. It's not impossible by any means, but what I have noticed is a few times when I've found it online is it gets pretty expensive. So if it's worth it to get this pistol grip, it really depends on if you can find it at a reasonable price or if it's just going to be gouged completely because it's new and from Russia, which also probably matters on where you are. At least here in the US, that's all I can really compare it to from my own experience. But for you all that are in Europe, it might actually be a lot easier to get this. It looks cool. I've always thought the AK-12 parts kind of look quite cool. So that definitely was a little bit of a factor with why I bought it, but I've always thought it actually would probably work pretty well as well. And it does, but just pretty well. It's not like it's not like a game changer, like end-all be-all sort of pistol grip, of which there probably isn't one at all that exists, because as I keep coming back to different hand sizes and all that. But that's enough about that. I'm just repeating points. Thank you all for watching. Let me know if you have any other questions in the comments below. Otherwise, I will see you next time for whatever the next upgrade will be on this.